Welcome to another edition of LRMania Reviews, and today I'll be reviewing two things off the WWE Network. Today will be a review of NXT Takeover Brooklyn and then WWE 24 NXT Brooklyn. So the reason I'm doing this in reverse, usually I do the WWE 24 episode first, then I review Takeover. I'm deciding to review Takeover first, then Brooklyn, because the WWE 24 episode NXT Brooklyn takes place during this show, and if I review the show, it's going to be filled with spoilers. We're going to know what happens, and I thought it'd be cool to watch the show, then to find out what goes on behind the scenes of the show. I thought that'd be a lot cooler, so we'll talk about NXT TakeOver Brooklyn right now. I like the opening. Again, Tyler Breeze has a big entrance. It's NXT Summer 2015, gorgeous. So they have a whole bunch of people dressing up as Tyler Breeze's models. They have someone dressed up as the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, another big statue in the taxi. So it's kind of cool. So they have Jushin Thunder Liger come out. He's facing Tyler Breeze. This match wasn't very good when I remembered it. So the fans keep chanting "Full Sail sucks" during this match. This is because whenever they would shoot TV tapings back in NXT and they'd reference this event, the Full Sail fans would boo. They'd hate the fact that they're not getting NXT takeovers anymore, and now they're probably devastated. They'll never get NXT takeover again, but they kept booing Brooklyn stuff, chanting "Brooklyn sucks." So this was Brooklyn's response saying "Full Sail sucks." So the match was okay. There's a lot of comedy at the beginning. It got good in the last few minutes, but a lot of comedy, not much to it. An okay match, not terrible, just kind of there. It was alright. So in the back, they showed Charlotte and Becky, saying hi to Bayley, trying to prep her up for her match. I think they want all of them in the feature. They showed the Nia Jax promo, who I think is not good at all. So up next is the Vaudevillains against they're fighting for the tag titles against Blake and Murphy, and I guess here, I really wish Enzo and Cass were here. They really should have had Enzo and Cass win the tag team titles in Brooklyn, then beat Blake and Murphy, and I guess instead of, having Blue Pants take over Alexa Bliss, have Carmella do it. But I guess they wanted the Vaudevillains, and the Vaudevillains are complete bums. They were worse than the Ascension. Bigger, at least Ascension still employed. They suck too, but I think both those teams suck. Vaudevillains are split now. Simon Gotch got released, so Aiden English is doing his stupid singing gimmick again, but these guys got nothing. Blake and Murphy come out. You can just tell Alexa Bliss is such a star. The way she walks out, she's, I think she's probably the best looking woman on the roster. She is such a star. These guys are such bums. I think Blake and Murphy suck. I think she's actually dating Murphy or someone. So, he probably still has a job because of that, but Blake and Murphy suck. Alexa Bliss there just makes them look so much bigger, such bigger deals. And Alexa Bliss, I really, really like her a lot. I'm definitely a big fan of hers. I really enjoy her work, so she did really good as a heel, and she elevated that tag team. No one cares about that tag team anymore, and I don't think they're even together, or no one cared about them that much here. The only people they care about is Alexa Bliss, because she's a star written all over her, and I really like her a lot. So they have Blue Pants here to cancel out Alexa. She is super over here. They actually released her not too long after this, but she's super over. I actually like both managers. I love Alexa, and I kind of like Blue Pants. She was there for a cup of coffee, but I think both tag teams suck. That match was actually a good tag team match. They had a good match. Vaudevillains win. The last 3 minutes were really, really great. That elevated. The match was just okay, and it turned into a good match because the last 2 minutes they got really exciting. Lots of near falls. You had Blue Pants give Alexa Bliss her come up, and so she got a huge pop. Vaudevillains win. This was a fun match. This was a good tag match. Really hot match. Crowd was into it. I enjoyed this a lot. And also, the camera made sure to show us Alexa Bliss's ass about 10 times, so that also added to the match. But overall, a good tag match. Then you have Ty Dillinger and the debut of the 10. This is when the 10 started to, it was still in its early stages, didn't take off yet, but that thing is really annoying now. He's facing the debuting Apollo Crews. It's funny. Ty Dillinger is just used as a enhancement talent right here, but it's funny. On the main roster, he's having more success so far than Apollo Crews did. So, interesting how things work. Maybe it's because Apollo Crews always listens to The Miz, but this show feels special. There's something about this show watching. It feels like a special show, and has this atmosphere of all these other wrestlers here. It feels this is, I remember watching this. This is probably one of the best NXTs. This was NXT in its prime. This was the best period for NXT 2015. This was, I thought, NXT in its real prime. I'd say NXT's prime was this year. So this was, again, a nice showcase for Apollo Crews. Good. It was okay. The match was fine. Nothing special. It wasn't meant to be. It was on the card to get Apollo Crews over, and it did. Unfortunately, his momentum didn't last. But it was a fun match. No, nothing special, but it was decent. So it was funny. They showed the Tough Enough people. That show sucked 2 years ago. And when they showed them, the fans moved. That was funny. ZZ sucks. Josh, I think he sucks. And they showed Sarah. She's released. And they showed Amanda, who's going to be a star. She's going to be a big star. She's Mandy Sachs. But, or Mandy Rose. It was kind of funny. Joan Corbin's next. Joe is obviously very over here in Brooklyn. Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin actually had a good match. I enjoyed it. It got exciting. It was actually a good heavyweight brawl. They did a lot of shoot stuff, a lot of mixed martial arts inspired stuff, some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some boxing, some Muay Thai. So both of them have shoot backgrounds. Joe has had a lot of experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Corbin's a Golden Gloves boxer, and he did train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I can understand why. Match was actually pretty good. I thought by far, without question, easily the best match of Baron Corbin's career. So they're promoting it as a double main event. Sasha and Bayley is the co-main event. They've really done a great job of promoting it. They had Stephanie come out here, a good PR. I'm giving women opportunity. Whatever. But yeah, these two they had my favorite match of that year in WWE. The best WWE match in 2015 was this match. That was an awesome video package. This match is so awesome. I love Sasha's entrance. They had her come out in this Mercedes, because her real name's actually Mercedes. That was a nice touch. She comes out. She's such a star. You look at her. She has so much personality. They really need to let her turn heel. She's smoking hot. Great on the mic when she's a heel. She just comes off as such a star here. That match was fucking amazing. That was just great. That was an excellent match. There were so many great spots. The part where Sasha has Bayley in the big set, Bayley reverses into the crossface, nearly submits her. That was great. The part where Sasha jumps over the referee onto Bayley on the outside. That was great. There's the part where Sasha's hanging onto the bottom rope and Bayley pulls her up and gives her the Bayley belly. That was great. There's just so much. Double knees on Bayley when she's ground looks sick. There's a part where Bayley almost broke her neck. This match was fucking incredible. This is probably my second favorite match I've seen in NXT. Or one of my favorites, to be honest. This was just great. Just an excellent match. By far match of the night. This is easily the best women's match in WWE history. I don't think they've ever had anything. I mean, there's been Japanese women's matches that have been, instant classics. This is by far the best WWE women's match of all time. Such a great match. Can't possibly go into detail how great this is. And of course, at the end, Bayley hits Sasha with a reverse, like a hurricanrana, while Sasha's on the back of Sasha. So it's like a reverse hurricanrana off the top rope. Just looks so sick. And Sasha almost broke her neck. She's lucky she's not paralyzed. There's even I remember seeing it, and they showed this part on Twitter where they were showing a different angle on her neck. Like, she actually went neck first into it, and she could have easily snapped her neck and been paralyzed. She's lucky. And then Bayley hits the belly to Bayley. I'm so happy to end the match right there, because that was such the highlight of the match that it's going to be almost impossible to go another 3 minutes to get up to that spot, and they went off with a bang. I can't go into more detail how great this was. This was just a great match, and of course. Yeah, so they did this great thing with the 4 horsewomen. They have them do a group hug. They have Bayley and Sasha hug first, and Charlotte and Becky come and hug. And, they do this curtain call and have the 4. They all do the 4 similar to the Madison Square Garden curtain call. Really well done. Really nice moment. And this was the end of Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky. And Bayley would stay. So it's a great part with the 4 horsewomen. And Bayley and Sasha absolutely tore the host down. So let's talk about the main event. Balor and Owens in a ladder match. Finn Balor's entrance was awesome. They had these fake Balors dress up as him, and so they had this huge giant entrance, so you can show 3 different Balors are in the arena. It was really, really cool, and he has a huge pop. Early in the match, there was a distraction. The fans, they all went nuts. They all started chanting yes. I don't know what that was. I don't know who was standing up. I'm not so sure, but it was a pretty big distraction. There was one really funny moment. The fans started chanting for Sami Zayn, and Owens mocks his injury with the shoulder. That was funny. The fans were annoying here. I think they were drained from Sasha and Bayley, so they were a bit quiet here, but or they were a bit worn out, but they eventually got into this match. I thought they had a great ladder match. Not the best ladder match I've ever seen. It didn't top Sasha and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley had a hard time following it at the first, but near the end, they really kicked it up a notch, and they really had a great ladder match. Balor wins. The spot at the end in which Owens takes a backwards bump onto the ladder set up in the turnbuckle, I thought I'd get a louder pop. That looked bad. I mean, his back of the head hit it. I'm surprised he didn't have a concussion. I thought they'd get a bigger pop, but they didn't. But the match was still a great ladder match and a great main event, and Balor retains. This was the last we saw of Kevin Owens in NXT. I thought this was probably the best. I'd say this is the best takeover. I thought this was better than our Evolution. I'd say this is my favorite takeover they ever did. This show was just great. It felt like such a special show with the women's revolution, with just so much. Just the Brooklyn crowd, they were so into everything. They wanted this to be great, and they were awesome. The crowd was just great, and I thought this was just a great show. So the show was great. Now I want to look at what happened behind the scenes in the making of the show. So let's get to WWE 24 NXT Brooklyn. I like the show already. I mean, they go back in time, so they're showing us Brooklyn, the wrestlers getting to Brooklyn. Now they're going back to show us the rise of NXT. They're going through Arrival and how it all. They're going through Florida Championship Wrestling and how NXT became three. So this is not just about the event Brooklyn. I like how, they basically say Florida Championship Wrestling was just a pile of shit. It was a dump, and how, Triple H changed. So they start with Finn Balor when they start talking with the NWO guys to talk about his rise to the company. Then they go to Kevin Owens and how he was good friends with Seth Rollins, and he went to a show to see Rollins. Now they're on Sasha and talk about how she loves Eddie Guerrero and how she's been watching wrestling her whole life and stuff. Sasha said she was 99 pounds and they couldn't get girls to work with her because they thought she'd break, and she doesn't look like she's gained much weight. She looks like about 105, 106. That's how small she is. So they talk a lot about the Divas Revolution and Diva, and I think still this time in 2015, they still were saying Diva. I think it was until WrestleMania 32 that they finally just called them woman, and thankfully they just call all of them woman now. Diva is dead. And another thing, I think WrestleMania 31, Triple H was talking how every single guy on that 31 card came from NXT. There was at least one in every single match there was at least one wrestler who was on NXT. So they go to Bayley now, and she has her own segment. It's a long segment. She talks about how she's been wanting to be there forever. She showed a poem that they later use in a storyline. She's a huge fan. It's wanted her whole life, so she has a nice story as well. So then they talk about Kevin Owens. We see his son. He's really excited to see him debut. That was really nice. So a huge part of this documentary is the woman. And they keep talking about the women's revolution and how all four of them are close together. And they showed all of them getting ready, all of them supporting each other. That Sasha and Bayley won't have the greatest women's match of all time. And they definitely had the greatest women's match in WWE history. So yeah, they keep showing it, and during the matches, they show Sasha and Bayley's mom watching the match, and of course Sasha's mom looks terrified every second. It's hard to blame her the way Sasha wrestles sometimes. She does some crazy shit in the ring, takes some big bumps, but that's how she's gotten over, one of the reasons. So yeah, they showed the four horsewomen all celebrating the match, and they're both really happy. Triple H even picked up both Sasha and Bayley after the match, so hugged them. So yeah, they were obviously really happy with the match. The match was great, and Sasha gets very, very emotional at the end. So they show Owens and Balor in the back, and they both admit it's going to be very tough to follow Sasha and Bayley. And they had a really, really good or great match, but wasn't on the same level as Sasha and Bayley. So yeah, now they start talking about Dusty, and this is very sad. It's near the end, and they really pay him tribute. So yeah, then they go back and they talk to more of the wrestlers about the show, and I thought this documentary was great. Another great documentary by WWE, and another great episode of WWE 24, and really, really good, since practically everyone loves NXT, and they really put together a great show. So yeah, both NXT Takeover Brooklyn and WWE 24 NXT Brooklyn were both awesome, and both these shows got a 2 thumbs up for me. Great shows, both of them.